And we have an unboxing. Yes. I got a little FedEx notice the other day, and it was from Lafayette, Indiana. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's Anvil Brewing or Blichmann Engineering? So that got followed up about a day later with an email. And I'm like, oh. And the box wasn't supposed to be here for a few more days, but it got here early, which is awesome. I really appreciate when FedEx or UPS get things early. It's very unusual. It's not like them. But before we go ahead and unbox this, yeah, you know, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Definitely appreciate the support. Costs you nothing, helps the channel huge, helps us to do all these cool things. And yeah, I got talking to Blichmann, and I'm like, you know, I think this is a perfect fit. It's kind of what I call a middle of the road. And that's awesome. And then I opened it and went, a little nicer than middle of the road. It's a lot nicer than middle of the road. So I know a lot of people with Anvil systems have these little Anvil pumps. And I know occasionally people either run them dry or just, you know, it's electronics. There is always going to be a percentage that just either are DOA technically, which hopefully never get to you, but there's a fail. There's a failure percentage. I'm an IT person, and everything out there, even hard drives, they have a fail rate and a life expectancy. Nothing lives forever. Now, luckily, some of us have things that seem to last forever, which is awesome. But what I've noticed is that when someone loses one of their Anvil pumps, which pushes about 7 feet top as far as, you know, height, and does about 3 gallons per minute, they're like, man, I should buy a Riptide. Yeah. You know, and you got a huge difference. I mean, night and day. This thing has got tri-clamp, or you can get it in NPT. It's a beast, but it's also going to cost you about $225 to about $250 based on the configuration. Knowing you're using it for an Anvil, probably around the 220, I think it's 224, 226, something like that. Don't quote me. But that's a lot of money. I mean, that's about half the price of the Anvil. So I think Anvil was listening. Blichmann, one and the same there. Yeah, I think they were listening and said, you know, we need to come out with something that's a little more of a beast for those who really need it or want it, and is a better price point so that they're not spending $226 to $250. Presenting half-inch NPT brewing pump, the new Anvil Brewing Pump XP. Does 5 gallons per minute. I have not even turned this thing on. I haven't cleaned it. Actually, I take it back. I was wrong. Does 6. Yeah, I thought it was 5. Does 6 according to the box. I think the instructions somewhere around here. I have to find them. Let's do this. That's one less thing to worry about. And if you hear little tiny noises in the background, it's because I got yeast starters going. I got 4 of them going. I'm getting ready to do a couple split batches. I've got all kinds of things going on. So this thing right off the top says tri-clamp head for easy cleaning. That's just the main piece here. It's not the NPT, just so you know that. Air purge valve for easy start, which actually, to me, is a little bit of an upgrade from the Riptide in the way they designed it. They kind of said, you know, we love our Riptide, but let's make a little bit of an enhancement. And then you have a stable base with power switch. It's heavy. And max head, which is 10 feet. I'm assuming that means 10 feet push. So let's go ahead and open this beast up so I can show you. And I do mean beast. This thing has no real weight to it. It's nice, it's sturdy, it does fine for me. I haven't had any problems. And then you have the Riptide, which is like a huge workout. Get your nice little instructions, which is always nice. And I know some people are probably going, why does he leave the hoses all hooked together? Well, when I'm done, I clean it, run it through. I know I don't clean it the best. Sometimes I clean it better than other times. But I do that once it's dried a little bit, so I don't have to worry about anything crawling in there. I haven't had that issue, but doing that prevents that too. Okay, here we go. And I did say this thing is a bit of a beast. It's like the workout you do before you get over to the Riptide. But for most people, this is probably more than what you need. And on top of that, I could easily use one of these with like a, yeah, you going where I'm going? Boilermaker surface? This would do the job. So let's take a look here. NPT, yeah, we got the same. We got the tri-clamp for easy assembly and cleaning. This is what I'm talking about though. Can you see that? there's a little spout over here, which means you can put a hose on here, a little hose, put your cup here. So when you're trying to get the liquid, which goes in here, comes out here, and you got a little bit of air in the line, you pull this, if you get a little bit of liquid shooting out, it's gonna go down that tube and into a little cup, so it won't make a mess. Over here, yeah, that's probably the only negative I can ever think of really with the Riptide is that when you pull that thing, you're gonna make a little bit of a mess and you're gonna have to clean it up. Not a big deal, but it's something to be aware of. So it looks a lot like the Anvil. I mean, it looks a lot, but it feels nothing like it. And I'm not knocking on the Anvil. The Anvil does its job. Here's the key, and a lot of people who are new to home brewing, you don't wanna recirculate fast. You wanna recirculate as quickly as you can that isn't going to cause a stuck mash, which is usually pretty slow. That's why if you watch a lot of my beer brewing videos, I'll go, yep, got a nice little tinkle going. That's literally all you need. You just need a nice little flow of water, or what eventually becomes wort, over and over, and that's all you need. You don't want a gusher. If you've got a bunch of water coming like a big hose on full blast, you're gonna get a stuck mash. It's gonna happen, I promise you. So this is bolted in. We've got little rubber kind of grommets. You got spots where you can actually mount this to something, bolt it in, screw it in, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and take this piece off, and hopefully there's a little, O-ring or something in there. I don't lose it, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off. Okay. Wasn't sure how the design was inside, but there is a tiny little, looks like a little rubber grommet or grommet. No, it doesn't seem that it's coming out, so that's good. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Seriously, it's got some weight. Okay, we do have a little rubber, like a O-ring sitting around the outer edge to help make a good seal. And yep, it's using magnets as usual. Does that piece come out? Nope, that piece does not appear to come out. Okay, this is what it looks like on the inside. You have this piece. I don't see, looks like there may be something in there that's built in on the front and back. So there's no little, there's no little washer to fall out and get lost like over here on that pump. Yeah, I was guilty of that very early on. As my pump started making weird noises, I got into the forums, I'm like, what the heck's going on? And someone's like, hey, it sounds like you lost your little washer. And I was like, what washer? They showed me a picture, I'm like, I don't have one of those. Probably went down the sink and I just didn't see it. So, and I know it's happened to other people. I've seen people talk about it. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back together. Run some nice warm water. It says not to run boiling wort through here, but I'm gonna bet I can run a little bit for a few seconds like I do with the Anvil pump, just to kind of make sure I don't have anything in there that doesn't get boiled, sitting and hiding out there. We don't want that, especially when we go to move the wort. We'll make sure everything got boiled. Okay, bring it around. I gotta tell you, the tri-clamp system is very nice. It seems a little awkward, but it's easy to work with. And, when you get your little ring here stuck in between, that's not gonna work. There we go. Feel like doing the SpongeBob SquarePants thing, Moments later, or a few minutes later. There we go, and you don't have to torque it down. On off, I did notice on the on off switch that the on, you kind of have a tiny bit more effort. Off is super easy. So you push, barely touch it. Push, barely touch it. So, something to be aware of. If you're sitting there and you're bumping into things, you could turn it off easily, which I think that's kind of a safety feature, to be honest. It's got a little rubber casing around it to keep liquid out. But yeah, very, very, very nice pump. I'm excited. I'm gonna use it today. Test it out, you know what I'm saying? So I've got to get some attachments on here and get brewing. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Oh, I forgot to tell you how much. Yeah. Supposedly it's gonna be $150 or $149.99. So yeah, $150 price point, amazing. Just great price point. Brewing pump, Anvil XP, cheers.